Hey everybody, and welcome back to Emerald Coast. Made it to early autumn. In fact, we're in day 2 already of early autumn. And to my surprise, the corn is ready for harvest. Really wasn't expecting that. I was kind of thinking the corn wouldn't be ready until mid-autumn. But we'll take this happy surprise and basically get to harvesting our corn. Hope to get fields, this field done and the 2 smaller fields down by the compost master done today. Got our grain truck parked over here beside the cow area. We have been quite busy since we were last together. I finished off the big grass field with the mowing and the tedding, windrowing, and baling. Got all those bales put away and pretty much filled up all of our haystacks and everything. Then we went ahead and got those fields fertilized, not once but twice so far, with the exception of the big field. Still need to fertilize that field for the second time. Also went ahead and got the poplar field fertilized, and we went ahead and put a second coat of fertilizer on our sugarcane because that had a little bit of a growth spurt also once we moved into autumn. See, we've got ourselves 121 pigs, so they are coming along quite nicely. I think what we'll do is look at maybe selling some of those here next time the price is good. Well, it's 40%. Let's swing back on around here and open up this a little bit more. I've been thinking about a new release schedule, and in fact this video has it's come out on that new release schedule. So I'm thinking about putting out Emerald Coast Farm Sim 17 style videos on Sundays. So looking just to do one Farm Sim 17 video a week on Emerald Coast here going forward, and that's basically because I expect I'm going to be putting most of my efforts into Farm Sim 19. I've seen several videos at this point from Giants and everything, and obviously last week the game came out for real. We've had plenty of opportunity to put time on the game for real and hopefully start putting out some 19 content by now. I'm going to reserve the week's releases for 19 content in general, and then we've got the Motorsport Manager coming out on Saturdays. I thought I would go ahead and just put Farm Sim 19's Emerald Coast 10-year series out on Sundays. Going forward, there's a fair bit of off-camera work that still needs to go on every week, and I think one video a week will allow me to stay fairly up to date with that and be able to put out at least a video a week. Might be able to certain times kind of bunch up my gameplay and get a couple videos done, and then kind of get a little bit of a head so I can focus on other projects also. But yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do basically one Farm Sim 17 video a week going forward on Sundays. I'm going to go and make this pass, and then we're going to come up here and basically empty out in the grain truck and get back to work. remember, this is going to be the last crop we harvest, actually, off of this field. Because the plan is to cultivate this field up, put grass in it, just for the sake of having grass in it, and then to actually then come and get some oranges planted in here, orange trees planted in here, and make ourselves kind of a little orchard. Grow some fruit trees. Grow some fruit, I should say, not trees. Go. Thought I'd do a little bit of first-person harvesting. Hadn't done that for a while with head tracking. Sometimes I just jump on and don't turn on head tracking just to be a little lazy. Let me show you something else that we need to get done. Won't do it today, but we're going to need to get this done soon. Got ourselves some poo piling up in here. We're going to have to bring the truck over and get it conveyored into the truck, which will then go and put in the compost master. Not spear ourselves. Better. Oh. So the idea of the fruit trees was an idea given to me by a member of the Discord channel. I want to thank, I think it was Rob that made that suggestion. If it wasn't Rob, then I apologize and for forgetting who that was. Basically, if you have suggestions for anything we should be doing here on Emerald Coast, please put them either in the comments or come on over to my Discord. I've got an Emerald Coast suggestions channel for you to put your suggestion in. Of course, not all suggestions are guaranteed to make their way into the series, but they will get me thinking as to possibilities, and there is always a chance that a suggestion that I like does make its way in. So go ahead and feel free to make those suggestions. It's pretty quick. We're going to run out of. I'm going to run out of ideas, and creative folks like you are going to come up with great ideas, like the idea of this orchard. Sounded pretty cool. I think we're going to make use of that mod, the placeable fruit trees, for our map here. And I think come wintertime, we are going to have a pretty major, looking at our bank account, I think we're going to have a pretty major forestry upgrade. We're going to be able to chew through some trees. Look for that here in a couple weeks. Quite honestly, I think next video we do next week is probably going to be on our soybean harvest in probably late autumn. Then we're going to be basically into winter, and hopefully before the end of the calendar year we will be into year 4 of our gameplay here on Emerald Coast. There we go. That's cool. Basically wanted to lift the head but keep the machine running. Try to get these corn rows lined up so we can just run straight down the rows. Get these pods, whatever we want to call these things, running right between the corn rows. How they do it in real life. Definitely don't take these out at an angle or anything. They try to get them all lined up, get them running through that thing. What did you guys think when you saw that one of the new harvesters, should I say one of the new old harvesters for 19 was the TX32, I think, is the one that's in for 19. Whereas the Modern Classics DLC gave us the TX34 here. What y'all think of the of that edition? I haven't used it. Well, as of recording, I haven't used it because 19's not been released yet. But I haven't had a chance to compare it, let's just say, to this particular model as far as details and everything goes. But I do look forward to checking that out. 19 one looked a lot. This one kind of looks flat compared to that one as far as paint goes and everything. But I am really excited to get that and get in there and start giving it a look around. Some first get my own chance to look at it, let's say that. Head. That load in there. Let's put this load here over the rear axles. Just kind of balance out the load a little bit. Now I thought we'd be able to get this field and start working on fields 18 and 19. But the way this field is going, I don't think we're going to get this field done before our time is up today. Let's go ahead and do this third person outside the cab, just for funsies. Just that one lonely stalk. There's one lonely farmer, a real life farmer YouTube person, and now we have one lonely stalk over there on the field, just sitting there waiting to not get harvested. Yeah, compared to the one in game in 19, this one looks a bit flat and a bit dull. But then again, for an old machine, it should look flat and dull. It shouldn't be all spit and polish and super high gloss and everything. Let's take a look at our forecast. See here, we've got today and tomorrow is going to be sunny and clear. Well, not sunny, but it's going to be clear of rain. It's going to be cloudy. Everything. Then we've got Thursday, we've got rain. And then throughout the weekend and into next week, we've got sunny and partly cloudy skies. Of course, that's all through mid-autumn. And I don't know how much we're going to have to do during mid-autumn. I really don't expect our soybeans to be ready until late autumn. But then just tending to our cows and our pigs and our sheep and other things. Definitely have to muck out the cow shed. And while we're at it, might as well do that on the pig shed. You can also use early autumn, I suppose, to get this prepped for our apple orchard. Go. They do like this chopped corn texture on the fields. Of course, if you've got chopped straw installed, it will give you a fertilizer bonus. I did see today in one of the videos that a previewer is putting out, that it looked like there's only 2 stages of fertilization now as opposed to 3, with the added level of weeding and the needs lime. So when you look at soil composition now in 19, you don't just see needs plowed and 3 different, either not fertilized, 1 stage, 2 stage, or 3 stages of fertilization. You see if it needs weeded, and apparently there are 2 stages of weed growth, young weeds and mature weeds. Apparently young weeds can be pulled up with a weeder. Mature weeds need a herbicide, weed preventative to be sprayed on it. You've got 2 stages of fertilization. And apparently just the weeder isn't a fertilization stage. It is just a needs weeds, has weeds and needs weeding, or doesn't have weeds and is good. And you've got this two stages of fertilization. So you have not fertilized, fertilized once, or fertilized twice. And you've got the plowing and need plowing, and then you've got a needs lime. Saw in some of the preview videos where they basically had a message on the field. Basically said if the field needed lime and or plowing. Basically there were fields that needed both, and everything. So that's kind of interesting, because I had thought that early on people were talking about lime was a alternative to plowing, or the act of putting lime on the field would save you from needing to possibly plow the field. So we'll see, maybe that has changed, or maybe the mechanic is some other dynamic way. We'll just have to learn about that and experiment with it. Let me know, those of you that have 19 now at this point, what do y'all think? What's your first impressions of Farm Sim 19? Those of you that played early in Farm Sim 17, maybe you got it, maybe you got 17 the day it released. What are your all's impressions between, if you can remember, the release version of 17 to the release version of 19? How do the 2 releases compare to each other? Be an interesting comparison. So, back, catch that one little row that we missed. Just a bit too much corn on this road to leave it be. Right. We're doing pretty good on our yield. We're doing, let me look. Look at this. Is this one of the fields that had no compaction on it? Yes, it was. See, it was a field that had marginal compaction, as is 18, 19, and 16. And 9 and 10. It was pretty dry when we put these this corn in. So we should be getting the absolute maximum yield at this point. Because, one, don't have any compaction on most of the field. And we have 3 stages of fertilization. And it's been plowed. Going between 175 bushels per acre up to 207, 211 bushels per acre. I think that's holding pretty good to what I've been hearing real life farmers talk about their overall yields at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not quite remembering it right, but it seems right. I know some of these yields feel a bit high compared to what we're seeing in real life for that particular type of a crop. I think 210 is about on the money. Be interesting to see what the first third-party mod is. Not third-party, I should say, non-Giants mod is coming out of the mod hub. Going to be a script, something like a vehicle or an implement. Now, I've heard people say, some folks have said, like it's going to be 6 months before we see any mods, and it wasn't that long with 17, so I'm not really sure why they're thinking it's going to be that long with 19. Up here. The corn that we missed. Oops. That's what I want to do. Basically hide that HUD down there by making it transparent. Speaking of transparent, I'm really looking forward to getting some first-hand experience with the new user interface and the new HUD on 19. I like how it's got that transparent look to it, opposed to this big block of black and gray and brown got now. Both the information panel on the bottom right and on the top right. Gotten quite used to and enjoy the better minimap mod. So that's something that can find its way over fairly quick, given if it's just a script. And if the changes to the minimap aren't so significant that it needs to be rewritten a lot. That's why I kind of am hopeful that things like GPS can come over fairly quickly as long as the scripting engine hasn't really changed. And since the game engine itself really hasn't changed, it's just been enhanced with graphical enhancements, and I'm hoping that the scripting will just be able to come across fairly straightforward, and we can get GPS fairly quick into 17. Didn't quite turn fast enough there. Guys, well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and call the video there. I want to thank everybody for watching the video. If you, oops, we're full. For some reason I thought I could get back. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please click that like button. That'd be super awesome. And let me know you liked the video. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. I got some plans for 19 content and some 19 series. I've completely redone my video intro. In fact, I've got 2 video intros prepared for 19. Eager to be able to show those off and present those to you guys. By the time that you see this, those probably will be starting to come out. Early on, it's going to take a little bit to get that stuff out, just because I want to have a clue how the game works before I start putting out content and spewing something out that might be wrong. So I want to understand how things work and everything. So until next time, guys, happy farming.